Wow, it really has been a year since I spoke in front of a camera. I don't even know how to start this damn video. Hi, my name is Juno, although you probably know me as Crypt. And it's been a year since I sat down and spoke to a camera like this, so apologies for my awkwardness. I feel like I'm talking to an old friend that I accidentally ghosted. The last time I posted I was 17, and not living here. Well, in this I still am in the same city, but I was certainly not in this apartment. And also a year ago I was honestly doing way more than I'm doing now, and I don't know how I was struggling at all, because I feel like if you put one more thing on my plate right now, I would have a nervous breakdown. A lot and also nothing has happened in the span of a year, and I figured it was a good time to kind of sit down, talk about it, get comfortable, get personal, instead of just jumping right back into things like nothing ever happened. I will not treat you like your toxic ex. Go get something to drink, maybe get a snack or two, I don't know. We're chatting. So, when I was 17, last time you saw me, I was definitely in full hustle mode. I had 2 jobs, putting myself through high school, getting my associate's degree, doing this, honestly doing anything and everything I possibly could while simultaneously getting no sleep. I mean, it was exhausting, but in a weird way, I think I would rather go back to it than what I'm doing now, but I think that also just comes with, like, I'm an adult and I'm responsible for my taxes now, and that's horrible. But now I'm 19 end of January. I've moved twice now, currently in an apartment, and life looks a lot differently than it did a year ago. I'm down to 1 job. I work the graveyard shift. I start my job at 4 in the morning, which has led to its positive and its negatives. I do enjoy waking up during the hours that everybody else is asleep and having that, like, tranquil peace that it brings. However, I do miss having any semblance of a social life, so there's that. You know, it's been an adjustment over the past year, but I think when I can manage to get myself into a rhythm, it's quite nice. It's just the struggle is getting into that rhythm. You know, this past year has been a lot of change and a lot of growth for me, which, as someone who's very autistic, is scary and all that, but I mean, not all the change has been bad, most definitely not. February of this last year, I started testosterone, which was one of the best decisions I have ever made. I mean, it's been exciting. It's been very challenging, getting over the mental hurdle of stabbing myself every week. Every single change feels like I'm moving closer to a more authentic version of myself, and that is something I cherish. It's not something that I talk about a lot, my transition, and honestly my trans identity, not for a lack of me not being proud of it. I grew up in a household where that wasn't something you talked about, ever. I grew up very religious, and so talking about it now feels wrong, and not necessarily taboo. I mean, I write a lot about being trans and about being gay, but it's not something that I ever really verbally speak on, partly because I don't think, at least for me personally, that there is a need to speak on it, because I am simply another person living their life. Yeah, starting testosterone has been really great for me, but, I mean, I figured that was something I should share here, partly because, one, obviously you are going to see the changes that it continues to make and have probably noticed the changes that it has made if you've been here since before I started it, but this channel has also been somewhere that I would like to keep things fairly real, and that is a very important, very real thing for me. I don't know, I stab myself with a little needle every week, and then I go, oh, ow, and then I go, oh, yippee, yippee, shitty mustache. I also got my name and my gender marker officially changed through the eyes of the court, which was very nice. So, I don't know, holding my official name change documents in my hand were very strange. It felt very surreal, and it felt, I don't know, it was very rewarding, and it's something I'm very thankful that everybody involved in that process was as supportive as they possibly could have been. I've also gotten through a lot of personal changes this last year, with my own life. I have been given the space to grieve and process a lot of things that have happened to me in the past, which maybe one day I'll talk about, but today is not that day. This last year, I moved into the basement of fellow cosplayer M Does Stuff's basement with where their mom lived, and that was an experience to say the least. I'm grateful for the fact that I was able to move out when I was, but things just didn't work out the way either of us really wanted it to. We moved out of that place. Obviously, I'm not living in a basement right now, but moved out of that place, and now I'm living in an apartment, the third story of an apartment next to the river, which has been very nice. We moved here in October of this last year with two of our very good friends, and I cherish them very deeply. They are very important to people to me. And then November, Em and I broke up, which was a almost 2-year-long relationship that ended, and that's a situation that I don't think I am going to give details on for now, and it didn't work out between us, and that's all I'm really willing to say on the matter for now. Relationships, when they end, even if you're the person that ended it, teach you a lot about yourself. And I've learned a lot this last month or month and a half. So, yeah, that got really serious really fast. So moving on. Regardless, though, living with friends has been a whole new experience. I mean, it's chaotic as hell and very hilarious and sometimes quite messy, but it's home. It's our space, and signing a lease at 18 and being able to prove to an apartment complex that I am trustworthy enough to be approved to sign a lease, it's something I am very proud of. No, cosplay, it's something what this whole fucking channel is about. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's definitely slowed down a little bit because where Em and I were living in the basement, it was essentially a glorified hallway to be living in, and so there wasn't any space for us to do anything creative. So I haven't really been given the opportunity to do anything creative this last year, but it doesn't mean it necessarily stopped, it just slowed down. I mean, I still cosplayed like 4 or 5 versions of Leon Kennedy this last year, which led to some interesting experiences. When your friend is drawing a tramp stamp on you in their bathroom, that's pretty good memory. With cosplay, I even though it slowed down, the conventions didn't, and I was able to attend more cons this last year than I have ever before in my life. I attended Anime Washington with a very good friend of mine this last year, and built a glowing LED panel for Connor from Detroit Become Human. And I revamped my old nurse cosplay from Dead by Daylight, if you remember that video I did. I also went to KomoriCon for the first time, and I was also given the amazing opportunity to judge for KuroNekoCon with their last operational year. Judging at Kuro was one of the most... It is an experience I will forever be grateful for. As somebody who's been in the competition scene since they started cosplaying, I really valued the organizers of Kuro putting that kind of trust and faith into me, that I would be honest and that I knew what I was doing, and it is rewarding to be a competitor for that long and then be trusted to be in the judge's seat, to not only have the trust of that I know what I am doing, but to have the trust that I will be kind and someone that people can look to and know that I see that you did your best. It was an incredible opportunity to see the excitement in people's faces and how proud they were of their work. Outside of cosplay, I've been exploring a couple new interests and taking on challenges from some old projects. not really an interest or a project, but I got a dog. His name is Link. He's currently sleeping in his crate, otherwise I would bring him out. But he is an adorable little puppy. He's a little over a year old now. I'll put some photos over here so you can see him. And he's rambunctious as hell and kind of a little shit, but he's actually pretty well behaved for a puppy. And he's my little chaotic shadow. He's everything to me. I love him so much. Other than that, I saw Ricky Montgomery. I've seen Ricky Montgomery about 4 times in concert now, which is a feat considering he's only actually headline toured 3 times, I think, because I saw his Rick tour twice. Creatively, I've also been writing a lot, which if you follow me on any of my social medias, you probably have heard about that. I started a novel, which is I don't know if I'm ever really going to do anything with it publishing-wise, but right now it's a kind of a fantasy, which is interesting because I don't love fantasy as a genre, but it's a fantasy horror novel, which I am enjoying writing in my free time. But my main project right now is my poetry book that I have been working on for the past year, which is called Slaughterhouse, and is a visceral exploration of the human condition. It is a poetry book. It's a poetry book that's spanning out to be about 100 poems long. Right now I have 94 in it, when that's before the cuts, of course, but we'll see how that goes. I also helped put together a creative arts journal at my local community college, which was a very rewarding experience, and I am very grateful for anybody who I got to know while being involved in that. I had my first piece published, and I spoke at my first poetry reading, which was very scary, actually. Like, as somebody who doesn't have a lot of social anxiety and has little to no anxiety about public speaking, that was terrifying. I don't know why. I think I just have world of worst imposter syndrome, but that's okay. I've always loved writing, but this year it felt like everything was clicking into place finally on what I wanted to do with my writing career. I've won a couple awards for my work, which has been very surreal. And I've also been branching out recently. Genre-wise in my writing, it's not... But as somebody who writes very introspective and heavy themes and stuff like that, I've been writing a lot of love poems recently, and I think inspiration just has kind of a funny way of showing itself sometimes, but that's all I'll really say on that matter for now. It's been nice. It's refreshing. Anyways, another life thing is, I guess, somewhere along the way in this last year, I went from having 0 to like 7 tattoos, which I've got my collarbone tattoos, and I have 2 on my arm, and that, but you can't see that at all. Wow. I've got 2 on my arm, and then I have 1 on this shoulder, and then like 3 on my legs, which, that's a lot when you're 18, but I love them all. They're all very important to me. Tattoos, to me, are something that it is a way for me to feel in control of my own body again, which is something I've always really struggled with. So it's been nice to feel like what's mine is mine and not somebody else's. I don't know, maybe I'll do a proper tattoo tour in the future when I have more, or whatever, if the people are interested in it. Another big part of my life this year has been, like, TTRPGs, which is the most nerd shit I've ever said in my entire life, but, my main party this last year has been my Starfinder party, and getting to know them as people, really, and I think I've been in this campaign for 2 years now, maybe just a year. That doesn't really feel right. Maybe 1.5. A decent chunk of time, though, I've been in this party, and they are very amazing people, and even though I'm not super close to all of them, they are all people that I would regard as people I can trust, and that, you know, they are huge sources of support and creativity in my life, and I really value them for that. With how socially isolated my job has made me be, they are really keeping me grounded, and it's been very nice this last year. And it's also just been really fun to explore, like, the creative side of making a character. I play play this gritty, gay, complex android mercenary with a cowboy hat and a fucking attitude problem, and I love him so much. His name is Caradoc. Here is some amazing art of him that my friend made for me. I commissioned him. If you're looking for some amazing tabletop RPG art, please reach out to him. His Instagram will be linked somewhere below. So, yeah, that's the past year in a nutshell. I don't feel like a person half the time, but that's okay. I mean, sometimes you don't feel like a person, and that's how you get through things. It has been full of change and challenges and things, honestly, I never want to live through again. But that is growth, and that is the way life is. Unfortunately, my life is a soap opera, and I am its unwilling protagonist, but here we are. You know, I mean, some days I feel like I have it all figured out, and then other days I feel like I am flying by the seat of my pants, but that I feel like is what life is supposed to be about, and especially your late teens. So, whatever. I'm very excited for what's next, though, in terms of life and content creation and everything. I've got a few series for the channel coming up that I think I'm going to probably do. I'm thinking of a cooking series that I'm doing in cosplay with Taco from the Adventure Zone, which I think will be very fun because I actually am a great chef. Not to be egotistical about it, but I've been told I'm a fairly decent chef, especially because I have a kitchen now and a filming space out there. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Some fashion stuff, some behind-the-scenes writing stuff. I've been told that I could do some stuff about. I've got ideas cooking in the pot. Of course, nothing ever will be consistent because my life is inconsistent. So having a consistent schedule is not a thing that'll probably happen for a while, but we can work on it. Today is the 29th of December, and I am getting ready to leave for Portland, Oregon tomorrow to go see my friend. And I leave tomorrow at 9:40 p.m. So this video will probably not go up until after I'm gone, or while I'm there if I schedule it and I'm a madman and I edit it like crazy today, which very well could happen. But, you know, we'll see what happens with that, I guess. It's been a crazy year, and anyone who's stuck around this long, I really do appreciate you. Your support has genuinely meant the world to me, and I know I don't sound very genuine about that. The community that I have managed to build and the people that are here still supporting me a year later are very important to me, even if I don't know you all personally. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've made it this far, you should let me know what other kind of content I should make so that I can maybe have a consistent schedule for once. But I don't even know how to close out a YouTube video anymore, and I probably should have watched some of my old ones, but doing that, and the thought of doing that makes me want to throw up in my mouth. So, I'm not doing that, and instead I will see you all whenever I post next. Bye!